Hey everyone, the name is Erik Thor and I'm here to talk to you today about the INFP's core archetype. I call the INFP's dominant archetype the fairy. The fairy in the sense of an almost magical creature with kind of unexplainable gifts and abilities. The ability to read people, the ability to change what nobody thinks is possible, and the ability to understand and to read anyone and to understand life and people and what is going on inside of everyone's heads and minds. INFPs see what nobody else can see. INFPs notice things most people miss. INFPs understand, accept, forgive. They are, in their nature, very forgiving people. INFPs usually live away from society, away from the power games, away from the structures. Self-actualized INFPs prefer these ways of being, living in nature, living in secluded areas, living away from where the world is more overwhelming, where the world is more tough, where the world is more harsh. INFPs prefer to live away from the world and away from stress, but can and gladly enjoy stepping out of themselves and going out to help people in some way. They like meeting new people, they like learning more about people, they like studying people, they are like reporters, asking a lot of questions, understanding and testing you and observing who you are and how you behave and how you treat others. INFPs act as ethical compasses in a sense. They advise, they give feedback on how we should live and how we should treat ourselves and how we should treat others around us. They act as kind of protectors of the weak in the same sense as ENFPs do. They stand up for the ones that are defenseless or that feel weak or the ones that are fragile and can't fight for themselves. INFPs often are prone to either being vegans or promoting environmentalism or in some other way trying to make a small difference as people in their own daily lives, trying to do something where they live or where they are in life, or trying to live in a way that they can agree with. INFPs tend to become people that are highly respected for their personality, for standing up for themselves, for developing a unique way of dressing, being, talking, and expressing themselves. INFPs tend to have very developed personal identities, not just in knowing their values, but in finding unique ways to express it, ways to talk, speak, act, ethical values, social and cultural considerations, all kinds of ideas and notions about how you should be and how you should treat others that are in many ways unique to the INFP. INFPs live in accordance with some kind of magical or natural law, in a sense that they know or have some semblance of idea in their own head about how the world should be, how things should be, how they should live, where they should live, in that sense of just knowing and just having developed existential awareness and insight. INFPs can develop this kind of map inside them, using introverted intuition, going and developing various ideas and often creative ideas in their nature, ideas and of options. I could do this and then I could do that and then I could do this and then I could live like that and then I could change this and then I could fix that. Just being able to observe and get ideas about what to do next. INFPs always have an idea of what to do next. INFPs usually have and see options if they develop this ability. INFPs embody the fairy archetype when they become self-actualized, only when they become self-actualized. And on the road to becoming self-actualized, INFPs can struggle with many things. If INFPs are in a world where people don't really listen to them or where people don't really take them seriously, if they are in a world where the only thing that matters is money, material wealth, or status, INFPs can become more aggressive, they can become more angry, and they can start acting out. INFPs can find themselves becoming temperamental, overwhelmed, or prone to stress, and lashing out at other people around them if they don't get the important needed alone time. INFPs are private and they need a lot of privacy to develop and to understand and to see the bigger picture. And if they don't take time for that privacy, their intuition becomes watered out. They start becoming inattentive, they start losing their attention span, they can't listen to or take in what other people are saying, and they can't pay attention to the world around them. When INFPs force themselves to be attentive against their own will, it's a half form of attention. It's a forced attention. It's a fake attention. And INFPs can struggle with this, especially when younger. INFPs can also feel forced into a traditional stereotype, and INFPs can find themselves having to work hard to break out of stereotypes and out of traditions and traditional ideas about how they should be and how they should act. Other people might think you need to be like this or do that or work in that atmosphere or that place or that situation. But INFPs need liberation, need freedom, and are free-spirited in their nature. And if they don't respect that in themselves, they lose a lot of their creative gifts and they lose a lot of their ability to think of options. So INFPs have a healthy rebellious tendency, a tendency to be contrarian, to question, to challenge what people believe and take for granted, to question stereotypes and norms and what people say about them. Not because the people are necessarily wrong or correct, but because INFPs need to find and to answer for their own, to find their own answer in relation to the world around them, bouncing off what happens around them and seeing their own ways of doing things. INFPs are people that struggle with sometimes feeling weak or powerless. Being an introverted and feeling type, that is often a common issue. Feeling weak and powerless in relation to society. Thinking, who am I in relation to this bigger system, to this bigger society? People, the system will always win. The people in power will always get what they want, and there's nothing I can do as an individual. But often INFPs turn out to be very wrong in this notion, and it's often the INFPs that bring out the greatest transformation in society. INFPs that question, INFPs that become catalysts, INFPs that see change and that grab change and that do what nobody else thought or dared to do. In that sense, INFPs can be very brave, very, very brave in tackling and challenging and asking questions, noticing that the emperor is naked and saying and honestly speaking out and being honest about how you see the world and how you feel about the world. While everyone else might try to cover up the truth or smooth things over or pretend the problem isn't there, INFPs naturally tend to speak out, but not in anger, not in a judgmental sense, not in trying to be harsh or condemning towards others, but simply in out of modesty. Modesty and honesty is often interrelated. A person that is more modest is also often more honest about themselves. They don't try to be something they're not. They don't try to cover up. They don't try to lie to fit in. So INFPs might sometimes feel bad about this. They might feel that their honesty and their modesty won't get them anywhere, that they need to lie or pretend to be something they're not to get approval, or that they will never be accepted by society because they can't lie, because they can't fake like other people seem to be able to. Now INFPs recognize that there is a strength in being honest, and that the person that becomes honest and turns out to be right in hindsight gains a lot of respect. If you can prove that you have been honest in the past and that your honesty is there, a lot of people will come to value that. A lot of people will come to ask you for your opinion, knowing that you will be truthful with them, knowing that you will tell them exactly how you feel and exactly what things are. And in this, INFPs are and naturally tend to gravitate towards advisor roles. INFPs don't try to be managers, don't try to be executives, don't try to be the people that call the shots and make the calls and that say, hey, everyone, this is what we do. Try to be the ones that give feedback, give information, the information people need to understand the situation. Focus on making people dream, making people think about who they are, who they want to be, what they could become. Make people aware of potential. Make people aware of life life and the importance and the value of life. Make people be more true to themselves, guide people towards who they are, show people who they are, reflect back at them what they say to show them what you see inside of them. See people seeing their potential and free up people seeing their potential and free up your own potential. Don't feel weak. You're not weak. You're miraculously strong in your ability to go against the flow and in your ability to question and in your ability to be true to self. There is nothing weak about being empathic or being able to understand or being able to see how another person is feeling. There is nothing weak about being honest, and there is nothing to lose from being modest. If you can master these tricks, you can become self-actualized as an INFP. And you can become an INFP fairy, a person of high magical powers, a person that can do what nobody else thought was possible, a person that can show people the truth of the world, a person that can guide, a person that can heal, a person that can make people feel at peace with themselves, a person that can be a sense of recharge and energy and a kind of battery for all of us. With all that in mind, are you true to yourself? Do you feel good about yourself right now? What do you feel like you need the most development in? Is it your introverted feeling? Is it your introverted intuition, your need for privacy? Is it your intuitive perceiving and your need to go your own way in life? Or is it perhaps your feeling perceiving and your ability to be honest and to be truthful? Look at and take a look at yourself and where you are right now. It's important to sometimes take a step back, to see the bigger picture, to see where you're going, and to see where you can be in life, and to verify that. A lot of INFPs try to be something they're not or feel bad about who they are, for no reason at all. But then again, we live in a society plastered with advertisements telling you how to be, telling you how to look, how to dress, how to talk, and everyone is becoming more or less the same. So I'm glad we have the INFPs out there that can remind us that this is stupid and unnecessary, and it won't make us happy. That's all I have to say about the INFP. What do you think about this archetype? What do you value in INFPs? What do you relate to in the INFP archetype? And what do you struggle to recognize in yourself? Thank you all for watching, and hope to see you in the next video.